Hi, everybody. Pop on to pop off. About 5 hours and 45 minutes before we begin the real live show. That's Worldwide Ramblings at 10:30 p.m. on this Saturday. Was it the 20th of April? Huh? Uh, 10:30 p.m. East Coast time, United States of America. Now under assault from within in all kinds of ways in terms of relationships with the Jewish people. We're back to 1966 in Selma, Alabama. Now, Selma, Alabama has come a long way now, but New York City has reverted back to a terrible time. Hi there. When I got on, I noticed there was one person already waiting. They just uh, they just have their finger on the trigger. My glasses are so dirty. I must do something about that. And that is Chantel. Hi, Chantel. How are you? Or Chantal. And Jeanette is here. Did you say you pronounce your name Fairweather? Somebody with a similar name did. I thought, I don't know how I would get that out of there. You doing okay, Chantal? Chantal? Are you? Jimmy maybe finds us, and I don't mean maybe. No matter when we come on. Hello, Jimmy, maybe. Happy Saturday. Yes, I just dropped in to see what condition my condition is in. Well, that was the thing this morning, trying to determine what my condition was, because my blood pressure was running a little high. And to the point where, my blood pressure is monitored by the former Middletown Medical. I guess they're still going to call themselves that, but the local hospital just bought our second biggest healthcare non-hospital, if you will, with locations in like 5 or 6 counties. They just bought them, and that means Dr. Rajan Galati, a true pioneer who started Middletown Medical under the term immediate medical. He still used that as a subtitle. He started that in the early 80s. He was a true pioneer. Get it all under one roof. We'll get the CAT scan in the same building. We'll do it all here. You can come in for urgent care, or you can have your physician right here. And he started that by the old Horton Hospital in Middletown, literally just a few feet away from it. And that led to him going out into the Miracle Mile that we call it here, and having a much bigger location and another one next to that, and now all over the place. Times are a changing, and it's not for good. So, also we say hello to Karen Gagnon. Hi, Jack. And yeah, it is fair weather, huh? Fair, just fair, no weather. Yeah, how would you get the weather in there? The weather outside today is still chilly, 63 and windy. That makes it feel like it's in the 50s. I don't enjoy the gazebo when it's like that out there. Luella Jackson. Hi, Luella. Hello from Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Enjoy your program. Thank you so much, Luella. I don't think we've heard from you, although I have heard from at least two other people in South Africa. So that's really, really cool. God bless you. Yeah. Um, we'll be doing worldwide ramblings in less than 6 hours, the longer show. Um, 10:30 East Coast time. What time is it in South Africa right now, Luella? Gail George, hi from Tennessee. Love the sunglasses there. Yes, I'm kind of wearing sunglasses, but they're not UV protected because they're just tinted reading glasses to make me look cool. Yeah, it's almost an impossibility at this state, but I can always remain hopeful. Um, Rush Hour Rush is on. Always makes me think of Mr. Limbaugh, my ra- radio hero, him and Art Bell. Well, I have a lot of radio heroes, but they're in the top five for sure. Hello from Germany. Hello, hello, hello. What time is it in Germany? See, I still got the cough, especially when I stop me yapping. I got to open me mouth, and before you know it, I'm coughing. But really, I'm not doing that bad. Almost went to urgent care this morning, but she said just keep hydrated and, um, make sure you're calm and peaceful when you take your blood pressure. So I never have a boxing match and then say, let me take my blood pressure because it wouldn't be a good number. Here's someone new, Randy Mancini. Are you related to the famous Mancini? Are you? Um, why am I forgetting your first name? It's terrible. I know it like I know me own, Randy. Um, and he from Maine. Well, now that is two people. Well, there's a couple that have started listening to Worldwide Ramblings. Maybe they'll be on tonight at 10:30 East Coast time. Um, they listen from Maine. They watch from Maine. I have to remember I'm not a radio disc jockey anymore. I miss playing the songs, I do. I'm not going to kid you. But that wouldn't work so much on video unless I had cool video as the songs were playing. And even then, there's so many streaming services. I have Spotify myself, YouTube Music, etc., etc. Ted Richards, hello there, Jack, and everyone. Welcome. You guys just show up, and that's very gratifying. Luis Van Widgengarden. It's not right, but I gave it a college try. Henry Mancini, right? Yeah, of course. Oh, I don't know where my mind goes sometimes. I should have never dropped all that acid in the 60s, especially since I was only like 12 years old. That's a joke. I was 12 years old in the 60s, but the other part is, believe me, I would never take anything. Well, one time I made a mistake. That's what Charlie, my Haitian neighbor, would say. Got to take him and his wife to more eye surgery next Friday. Um, I took something that was given to me by a close friend, and I should have known that uh, they had no problem with it. But I should have known that I didn't have the personality for that. If you have any kind of fears and anxiety, you don't take speed. You know what I'm saying? Because it will magnify that. I can't believe I'm talking about this. I don't know, 17 years old. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Fortunately, he had something called, I want to say, Doradin, which counteracted it because they were all looking at me like we're in serious trouble with this guy. Jack is not handling this well at all. I literally thought I was not breathing. Rhonda Ledbetter, how foolish was I back then when I was 17, huh? I learned the truth at 17 that I can be a ding dong sometimes and that love was made for beauty queens. I learned the truth at 17. Some people know that song. So Maine, what part of Maine, Randy, are you watching me from? We'll be going up to Kennebunk, Sanford, and Portland, and Old Orchard Beach in late July. We usually go up that way. Last year it was we didn't quite make it that far. We um, we made it into these short-term memory lapses. Really terrify me, ladies and gentlemen. The place where all the mansions are, the state before it. Oh my goodness. They gotta they gotta send the white coats after me. They don't wear white anymore though, so it's confusing. You never know who's coming after you. How are you, Gail George? Yes, Art Bell was truly an amazing talent, wasn't he? I mean, to have an audience of about 5 million people at 3 o'clock in the morning, Gail, was incredible. To be on like 500 radio stations. Um, he just was phenomenal. Then he became kind of a serial retirer. He would quit, he'd come back to weekends, that kind of thing. But he got really big in the 90s, and he helped me through those midnight shifts when I was pretending to be a peace officer at a homeless men's shelter owned by the city of New York, but not in the city. That was really good. That was really good. Judy Wright. Hi, Judy. Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. Hello, and a warm spring day in Georgia. Yeah. How far are you from Stone Mountain, Georgia, Judy? One of these days I'll get to Stone Mountain because I'll be dropping Karen off. They don't really want me there. Let's not pretend they didn't want me when they were here. They don't want me then. It's just my my cross to bear, you know. Um, yeah, I love Coast to Coast too, with a passion. I loved all the fill-in hosts too. Ian Punnett, remember him? He was a pastor slash something else from the Twin Cities. The guy on Sunday nights, George. He's from Las Vegas. It's not George Norrie. Um, George Norrie, of course, is the main host now and has been for many years. But the guy who does great reporting. Let's see. Millnocket, Maine? Is that what you're telling me? Is that anywhere near Woodstock, Maine? I'm just trying to find out how close you live to Tucker Carlson, you know, who has a home there and a home, and of course, in Florida. He's not nuts. You're not going to find him in Maine in January. Don't you find it a tad chilly then, Randy? Yes. Karen wants to go all the way up to Calais, which is really callous, but Calais sounds so much better, and the Canadians call it Calais. So why can't we just name the whole thing? If I ask Alexa to tell me what the temperature is in Calais, Maine, she'll say in Calais, Maine right now, it's 12 below zero. And that's really strange for April. No, it was actually warmer in Calais than it was here the other day. So you never know, but they do have a lot of snow and cold in the winter, being right there on the Canadian border. So we love Maine. That's what I want to tell you, Randy. It's I feel closer to God when I'm in Maine. It's a very special place to live. And you say Woodstock is south of you, is it? Yeah. Well, if Tucker would just invite us over, I know he has people stay at his house all the time. So if Tucker would invite us to stay at his house in Woodstock, that would be very nice. But that's not going to be happening. Um, so I think I've got said hello to everybody. Oh, you're 1 hour north of Bangor. I've passed by Bangor, I think, on the way back home from places like Eastport, Maine, and Calais, and you know, we did check out Eastport, which is kind of a deserted place. You know, not a lot of people. You can get a nice house by the beach, not too expensive in Eastport. They had one grocery store that was barely hanging on, and I don't know if that survived. um, but there was a place between Calais and Eastport called the Friendly Restaurant. Huh? Not Friendlies, not the chain, the Friendly Restaurant, where you get yourself some delicious beer batter, fried cod, and homemade chocolate cream pie and other homemade pies. And we had to stop every time we were in that area. Reason this goes back to my second failed marriage. Oh boy, every once in a while someone will say you're a good man. Someone said that in an email this week. I know you're a good man. No, I'm not. Not really. I mean, if you asked any one of the people who worked with me, of coworkers, the 19 years as a peace officer, all my years in radio, all that, they'd all say I'm a great guy. They would. I remember once my ex boss was the legendary cousin Bruce Morrow for a time. I feel like I'm dropping names, and half the people, you know, don't even care. But my boss in radio right here in this city where I live right now, they bought it along with the late Bob Sillerman, who used to own the name. What was it called? Some guy named Elvis Presley. You don't want to die when you're as rich as Bob Sillerman was, but he died in his early 70s. Of cancer and all that. And but they bought my hometown station in 1979. I was living in Hollywood, Florida at the time. But as soon as I came back, I sent a tape because I had worked at one radio station at that point in Fredonia, New York, and they hired me for Sunday nights. I got to meet cousin Brucey, and it was the thrill of my life, but also terribly nerve-wracking to work for an icon who's at 88 years old. You can hear him tonight. You can hear him in about an hour from I speak. Just go to wabcradio.com and listen to your cousin Brucey at 88 years old. He does it from his house, either in Stonebridge or he has a place down by the bottom line. But since now, under the direction of Kathy Hochul, D.A. Bragg, and Mayor Adams, it's like a war zone. It's like going into Beirut, you know. I don't know how often he goes to the city anymore, but there was a point to all that story, wasn't there? Yeah. um, so there I was working at for cousin Brucey, and I've forgotten the rest. So yeah, it's pretty clear, what my future holds. I'll be tied to a chair in front of the nurse's station with an alarm. Help me, Randy. But yeah, we'll be coming up to Maine now. Where else should we always go to one extra place? You're going to tell me your town, I know. Uh, we always try to go to one extra place. Like we went all the way to Bahaba in 2022. We did as we were leaving the motel. It's a very economical. We always find the cheap deals. The night manager said, "Oh, you're going to Bar Harbor tomorrow. I hope you like people." He wasn't kidding. Just to get a parking space, you better know how to parallel park if you're going to Bahaba, because that's all you're going to get. And there's meters everywhere, and they're so tight. I have a little economy Honda, and um, Ted Richards' cousin Brucey on the 8s. He used to be on Sirius XM, if that's what you're referring to. If you're talking about his age, he is 88 years old, yes, and he'll be on WABC in an hour. It's worth listening to. He still sounds pretty good. He has an engineer helping him in New York, kind of that thing, taking the request and everything, but then they pump him through to cousin Brucey if they think it's a good call. Exit 244, huh? So, still cold in Montreal, Chantal? Really? Yeah. I lived in Montreal in 1964 for 6 months when my parents split up. I have good memories, and something life-changing took place in Montreal, Chantal. If you were my therapist, I'd tell you about it. But something life-changing that still affects me in 2024. But Christmas time, my father came to visit, and I needed an operation. I had an abscess on my neck. I got a scar somewhere here, and his insurance wouldn't work in the country of Canada. So I had to have it in Danbury, Connecticut. Great place, Danbury. Hello, Connecticut. And do I fish? Never once in my life. See, my father died when I was 11, so I didn't really have anybody to teach me. So I always bought my fish at either McDonald's or some great Maine restaurant, or never been to Red Lobster in my life. I don't think so. Never been. Never been. You were born in 66. What a great year that was, but you didn't know it because you were just a little one. Yeah, so you're like 11 years younger than me. I wish to meet you. Well, thank you. I don't think we'll be going back to Canada because I don't have a passport. That's how poor I am. I have no plans of international travel. And of course, we used to go into Calais, and then I would just show my driver's license in Calais, Maine, and go right into St. John's, whatever it is. And I remember the first time I did that, because I had never been in that part of Canada, I saw the gas prices and I said, "Oh, we got to fill the tank up, honey." Honey would have been my second marriage. Don't know if I ever went to Maine in my first marriage. Don't think so. And Karen and I go to Maine almost every year, but not last year. What is the place? I can't remember. I have relatives buried right within sight of Danbury Hospital. Isn't that interesting? Danbury is a cool place. Have you been to Stu Leonard's, Ted, when you're visiting? Of course, you'd be just going to the grave, wouldn't you? What a small world. Yeah, I'm not. I'm about an hour from Danbury at best, up 84. Just get on 84, and I'll be in Danbury in less than an hour. Lobster and scallops is plentiful here, but I'm really a cod and a haddock kind of guy, Randy. Um, Karen's the lobster person. Yes, she would definitely want the lobster if we came to see you. And I love scallops too, but it's just like I feel like I can get them here, whereas um, oh, that Maine fish, it's just delightful. It's delightful. And I have a video up on Maine here. Human flies are infesting Maine, turning it purple, and then they're trying to uh, stop people from voting for the candidate of their choice. One woke Morano, Pepperidge Farm Morano, tries to stop people in the whole state. She's barely out of diapers. Don't get me started. Wouldn't be good for my blood pressure. I better own for a while, even though I don't believe in any of that stuff anymore. I did chase gurus, but that was before. See, when people tell me, "Oh, Elvis, he was a born again Christian, but he was still curious, doing this, that, and the other." Bull feathers. It doesn't work that way. When you're born again, that's the end of the Hinduism. That's the end of chasing gurus. You might still like the ghost, like watch Ghost Adventures. I'll be honest, it's kind of entertaining TV. But no, 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 no. I will make this statement. I am 88% positive, and how would I know? Only God knows that Elvis, when he recorded those gospel albums, had not yet become a born again Christian, because it was after that he was chasing. And don't try to tell me how you like Larry Geller. I like him too as a person. I saw an interview with him. He was very interesting. I'm sure he's a terrific hairdresser, but don't tell me you can mix Larry Geller with Christianity, because you just can't do that. It's an insult. It's an insult. Pick one or the other. It's not hot fudge and spaghetti. They don't mix. They don't mix. So if he had been born again when he met Larry, he'd say, "Larry, you're a wonderful guy. You can even do my hair and everything, but what you're saying to me is bullpucky. It's bullpucky." Yeah, I'll say it. Alice Warner. All the young girls love Alice. Tender young Alice, they say, "Come over and see me. Come over and please me. Wait till my husband's away." That's another thing that doesn't mix with Christianity. Just so you know, Elton John's "All the Girls Love Alice." Jack, do you mean salted con? My grandmom cooked that fish. No, I've never had it. Is it good? I've never even heard of it. Uh, I have a sturdy gag reflex. Is this some weird part of the fish, Alice? You know, um, my son was in an Asian market, I think out in Texas, and he couldn't believe what they had for sale there. How about this? How about you put on the bib, and what's for supper? Pig uterus. Pig uterus. Oh, I thought of a great joke, but even if I were on the radio, I couldn't use it. You know, I've heard of eating, you got the joke. All the men have that joke for sure. Oh, I'm so sorry. I never claimed, "Oh, don't tell me Katina's here." Oh, I thought I saw Katina. She would take out the ruler. I think I'm gonna make her grand matriarch, but she just doesn't stay on long enough in the live stream to be grand matriarch. So, we had a grand matriarch, but she threw me to the wolves. She said Jack is too carnal. And she's right, but everybody has a carnal side. See, if you are good at repression, that is not freedom. But if you are so filled with the Holy Spirit, you've absorbed the word of God, and you've reached the higher realms of prayer, my hat is off to you. If I were wearing a hat, I could go get my hat and take it off if you wanted me to. Um, but repression, oh, look at that girl there. No, 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 no. And that's not freedom, you know. Men were born to react to certain things. If not, no woman would ever get pregnant. Women were born to notice a good-looking man, or in some cases, let's just be honest, a good-looking woman. I mean, just the way it is, and more so than ever is that out of the closet and into the street. Why am I babbling? Oh, now I get a ew. Oh, the for the pig uterus? Okay, I got it. Maybe it was just that. I'm sorry, Randy. I should have never drank before the shift. The shift. I'm calling this a shift now, like I punched the time card. What's my break time? Because I got to be back to work at 10:30. Um, yeah, I just thought that was, the most amazing thing. But, all these things that people like that guy on Bizarre Foods eats, and Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul, used to eat, things that I'm sorry, I don't want frog's legs. I ate frog's legs once in my lifetime, and that was to impress the very first woman that actually said yes when I said, "Would you like to go out with me?" Actually, I said, I'd ask you out, Monique, but I'm sure you already have a boyfriend. And she said, "Yeah, I kind of do." And I was the security guard midnight to 8 at the Ralston Purina Dog Chow plant up in Dunkirk, New York. And she worked the 4 to 12 shift. So I'd see her when she was coming out. You could drive into the plant area, which is interesting, to park your car. So I would see her at my booth as she was leaving the shift. And the next night she comes and says, I would go out with you. I would go out with you. And she said, there's this restaurant, and she described a French restaurant. And she wanted to go there. Oh, boy. But hey, whatever, I was going to be going out on my first date with Monique, who was this hippie kind of girl, real cute, that kind of thing. I pray every morning for my kids, family, Israel, God, to remove the Biden administration. Well, I would love to talk those kind of topics, Randy, but I'll tell you, when we do worldwide ramblings at 10:30, I have videos on some of it, and I do those kind of topics, and I 100% agree with you. Can you believe the Kennedy family endorsing Biden? How stupid is that? There's not one of them there that has a brain, not one of them. Vote for Trump. But you might as well go to John F. Kennedy's grave and take a pee on it than vote in and endorse a man like Joe Biden. So Bobby Kennedy was very gracious about it and said we love each other and all that. I would have torn them a new one. I would have said, no, don't say my father would be for him. He wouldn't be. He was for honorable, decent men. Not that all the Kennedy boys didn't have a little problem, keeping it in there. They were all sinners, like all of us. But anyway, I would love to talk more about that, but I'm finding it harder and harder on the 10:30 show to get anything other than lightweight topics in. I really am. And of course, the magic words and the magic topic, and we all know what that is. I think I put it in this title, didn't I? What can I tell you? This is my I love having a live audience, and I love having a pre-recorded audience, but it all comes down to the pastor from Benton, Arkansas, and what a year 2024 is going to be. That is my prediction to you, Chantal. 2024 is going to be an amazing year. If I'm wrong, Ken Larkin has every right to hit me with every scripture that admonishes me that he can find. Bobby Kennedy might wind up being VP. No, I don't think so, because President Trump is already, there was that rumor that he had offered it to him and Trump denied it. Now Trump does lie. We might as well just be honest. Everybody knows that. Sure, he slept with Stormy Daniels, and that was between them, and lots of times people work out a deal, and she took that deal. All we're talking about in this whole New York fiasco is a bookkeeping error where an accountant, not Trump, put it in the wrong column. And D.A. Bragg, who's allowed New York City to turn into something out of a third world country, why Hochul lets him, It's really not Adams' fault. He would like to see things changed. Um, you know, DA Bragg turns it into a 34 count felony indictment. This is got to be overturned. But I don't like the fact that this judge, what do you call him? Marchand or whatever his name is, a Democrat who supported Biden, gave money to Obama and his what is it? His daughter, actively a militant progressive. I don't like the fact that he has the power to try to put him in jail. And this Benny, the congressman there who ran the January 6th. What a dumbo this guy is. What a total dumbo trying to take away President Trump's Secret Service protection. God forbid one of these awful, awful people were able to put Trump in jail, and he doesn't help himself, because he likes to shoot off his mouth, and he has valid points about doing it. But the Secret Service would have to go with him. Every president gets that. But this Benny, what's his name there? I find him deceptive. I find him not to be someone who loves America, but just someone who wants to have the progressive socialist agenda destroy America. Ugh, this is what we have. Oh, I agree. Well, Randy, yes, I totally agree with you. It should be DeSantis. The big one now that I'm hearing more though is what's his name? JD, what's his name? Oh, I can't believe how many misses I'm having here. Usually I'm not this bad. Um, you know, the guy with the mustache who's macho. Um, you really need to Vance, right? Miss Senator Vance, right? He's a senator. You want to put someone in there from a state that is shaky, really, and of course Trump has Florida sewn up, but it would put DeSantis, who's such a wonderful governor, it would put him in the driver's seat to be the next president after Trump. And if he picks someone else, it'll be that much harder for Ron DeSantis. So I don't know. But J.D. Vance, right? Good man, good man. I have no problem with that. But they're going to call it the all white boy ticket. So if he picked Tulsi Gabbard, who I don't agree with her on everything, but she was a former Democrat, now an independent, I would be okay with that. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. I like Tulsi very, very much. She's one of the poorest members that ever sat in Congress. She flies commercial because when the Democrats offered her a whole bunch of money, oh, look at this beautiful woman. We can really use her to expand our cause. And she said, I don't believe in your cause. I used to believe in the Democratic Party. Uh, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me. You know what I mean? Um, I don't believe Carrie Lake has enough pull to make a difference, so no. Um, Governor Youngkin from Virginia, which Trump could lose that state. Good man, one-term governor. I like him a lot. Some people say he's a little rhino. I don't know that I've seen that, but you can always state your reason why. Rye. Do you like rye, Ken Larkin? Karen, who used to be known as Karen. Karen buys rye, and we never finish it all. I always say, well, you buy this rye, and now I can't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on rye. Not that I have many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but if she buys the Sara Lee whole wheat, the white bread that says it's wheat, what do you call that? Whole grain. Whole grain. At least I got something today. Um, if she buys that and it's nice and fresh, I got to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I got to do it. Um, Jack Daniels. What are you, one of these drinking Catholics, Ken? They always push that on the Catholics. I've known priests that were drunks. I've known priests that were pedophiles. I've known priests that left the church and married a woman. I've known all kinds of priests, and I've known some wonderful priests. Was raised in the Catholic Church and still love to go to mass today. It really helps if the priest is born again, though, and is able to deliver a really good homily. Um, yeah. Jack Daniels, I'm a vodka man, Ken. I had some over at the Poker Weekend last weekend. I had a vodka sour. I said, please just give me a splash of the vodka. I'm not supposed to drink too much alcohol. And who made the drink for me? Because when it's open bar, no bartender wants to work that because she's not going to make any money. So Jimmy Sir's a Maine lady who's been in his life forever, Barbara, is one of the bartenders. And the Jimmy Stir fan club president is Anita, is the other bartender. So I always say, hello, Barbara. Could you make me a slow gin fizz, just a splash of vodka? And there's Jimmy Stir vodka. Just go to jimmystir.com and you'll find out how to arrange that and order it. Yeah, well, you are arranging a sale. So that makes sense. By the way, I won't be here next Saturday night. I'll be in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Come and join us if you're in the state of Pennsylvania to Wilkes-Barre, to Gianotti's in downtown Wilkes-Barre. 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Stir will be there. I'm not sure if it starts at 2 or 4, but you'll be able to walk there and get a seat. Though had almost 1,000 last year, though, so come early. And John Stanky and his brother Joe Stanky will be there. Two separate bands. I understand that for years they never spoke to each other. And it was Jimmy Stir that said to Ted, is it Ted? No, it's Joe Stanky and John Stanky. He said to Joe and John separately, he said, I want to have both of you guys here. It's time to bury the hatchet. I want to have both bands here this time. And Jimmy built a bridge for them, and they did come. Ah, yes. Sipping too much of the wine. I've tried my whole life to tell myself I like wine, Ted, because, the reverse-troll, is that how you say it? We've got 46 watching right now. Hi, everybody. And those in the replay crowd, we're coming up on 5 hours away from the big show, Worldwide Ramblings at 10:30. Yes, we'll talk about Bob Joyce. This week's Nincompoop, a new feature. This week's Nincompoop. It's like, I've got a sea of like 50,000 candidates, and I got to narrow it down to one, but I'll have 3 runners up too. This week's Nincompoop, a new feature. I'm probably going to have to do Worldwide Ramblings on Friday night next week, okay? Because I won't be here Saturday. I'll be on the way back from Wilkes-Barre by then. And so please join us at 10:30 as well. The priest. Well, I have known a wide variety of priests. There was Father Cornelius Doherty, who his favorite altar boy, don't take that the wrong way. Cornelius Doherty was a straight man, as far as I can tell, especially for what he did. I'll tell you that in a second. But we were altar boys, and Zygmunt Nowicki was one of the altar boys. Everybody liked Ziggy. In fact, on the altar boy schedule, Father Doherty did that schedule, and he always wrote Ziggy Babes on the schedule, Ziggy Babes. And Ziggy Babes was the first one to learn from Father Doherty that he was leaving the priesthood and going to marry a woman. Yeah. And he married a woman from Walden who went to Most Precious Blood, and they went to church there. I don't know what Father Doherty did when he left the priesthood, but he got married, and he was, how do I put this? He was not the best looking priest. We had some priests that were pretty good looking, Father McCarthy at the top of the list. But he got married and I think lived a happy life, and that's wonderful. They should allow priests to marry. That's the one thing the woke Pope should have accomplished. He should have said the priests can marry. I mean, they allow the Anglican priest that are married with children to become Catholic priest. I knew Father Trevor in Goshen, New York. He had a wife and 2 children, and he was a terrific priest because he didn't have all this anxiety, And then there was another priest in the same pulpit that ended up going to jail for years. He had a club for the young boys, and his club, you can read about Father Papala if you Google it, Father Papala. He had a club called The Hole. The Hole. All the boys would come in, he would get them liquored up. I can't believe this happened for so long. and then he would take advantage of them. Debbie Inglis, why am I talking about that? Hi, Jack. Good to see you live. Yes, I always like to be live. I always like to go on when I have a pulse. I just feel I'm better that way, and I'm deathly afraid of death. I've told God that I would be more than happy to wait for the rapture. And then I realized, well, what if I don't? What if he's not planning on letting me in? So maybe I better be more consistent in my Christian walk. I know it's the blood that gets me in, but I'm usually asleep here. You sleep at this time? Are you working the midnight shift, or do you take a little nap after your day shift, or are you retired? Is this your nap time? Is that what you're saying? Huh. So I've babbled about everything in the world here, but we will talk about Bob Joyce tonight. And thank you for the likes. Yes, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're coming on. And but I'm not into the Jack Daniels. That's too hard for me. I'm never a whiskey guy, really. Um, I drink alone. Me and my buddy Weiser definitely don't like beer. Ugh. You don't have to worry about me drinking Bud Light and disgracing my manhood. I can't stand the taste of beer. So it's not me and my buddy Weiser or my old friend Jack Daniels, I'm afraid. It's me and my Grey Goose. My Grey Goose. No, UK, it's 10:30 p.m. And you go to bed that early, huh? Yeah. Okay. Um, God knows I used to hear from Michael, who's in London, um, would watch us live, but he would never respond in the stream. It was always via email. Teresa, hello. How are you? How are you doing? How you doing? Priests should be allowed to be married, exactly, and have a family. Being born again is a wonderful thing. Well, it's the requirement, right? I don't care whether you're Catholic, Lutheran, Methodist, Pentecostal, whatever branch you're in, you must be born again, or you cannot see or enter the kingdom of heaven. Those are the words of Jesus to Nicodemus, to the Jewish rabbi Nicodemus. And so it's a hard experience. It's not a club, it's a hard experience with God. And so, absolutely, you must be born again. Even Hearts Wild found us. Wow. Hi, Hearts Wild. No beer for me either. I just never understood it, Randy. I did indulge one time when I was very young at a club called, was it Dino's, or had it changed to Class of 57 by then? I'm not sure, but it's downtown Middletown. And I did indulge, and I didn't gulp. I didn't gulp because it was a beer blast and it was really cheap. So I thought, well, now's the time. And I had 8 glasses of beer. I was with the guy who lives downstairs with me. He lives downstairs in what is technically the living room on this side of the duplex. And he drove me home. He didn't indulge. He didn't. I never saw him drink, I think, but he did other stuff. And I got out of the car and went over to the bushes and threw up. But I wasn't done. I would later throw up on my bed. And from that one experience, I said, I will never do that again. And I never did. I never did. Ever since then, when I have the drinks that I do like, I'll have one or two, little buzz, fine, and then I stop because I don't want to feel sick from being drunk. What about you, William Murphy? Bob 99, huh? Well, 89. I'm sorry. Bob 89 as opposed to Bob 1974. Yeah. We almost had a full-out brawl last week. Nobody seemed to mind, and so I'm not going to, I'm not looking to block people. I'm not looking to block people. I don't like to do that. When people start to say this is really annoying and it takes away the fun of the channel, more than one voice says that, then that's a different story. But we had almost a brawl between two Bobs last week, and it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Kettle One Vodka Snob. Kettle One, huh? Sounds like a potato chip to me. I don't know. Hi, y'all. Hi, Sandy. Fair. Are you fair? Or does that mean do you burn easily? Once I pee, can't stop because of beer. LOL. I see. Well, that would have been sexier if Hearts Wild said it. I can't believe I just said that. Um, Sky is a great drink. Well, I know a woman named Sky, but she doesn't know that I know her. She's a star, but not in my age group. She's not, but she is a star. If someone has Netflix, they may know who she is. And I can't say much more, except I saw her very recently and have seen her a number of times in this area or not too far from this area. How more cryptic can I be? It's a funny thing when you think, oh, I bet you she works at an amusement park that's not too far from here. And you find out, no, she's worth over $2 million. I love it. I love it. I'm amusing myself, Randy. I want to call you Randy Meissner now. I don't know why. He's dead, isn't he? Did he die? Is he still one of the Eagles that's still alive? I know we got Don Henley, we got Joe Walsh, but that's about it, right? Timothy is gone, right? Timothy Schmidt is gone. Belinda, who's really Margaret, saying, flower power, you all. I guess. What are you amening, Ken? I don't think I've said anything worth amening myself. Cape Cod, my favorite drink. It's a drink, Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. I have been to Cape Cod once. So how did you enjoy the beach, Jack? Never went. How did you enjoy the restaurants in Cape Cod? Never went. Why were you in Cape Cod then? I took a wrong turn on the way home because I thought I'd save on the data for the GPS, and I end up for signs of Cape Cod. We went to the Dunkin' Donuts in Cape Cod. That's all we did. The beach, there were so many people coming in, especially by the time we left, they were lined up coming in. And we had already, it was getting late in the day. We wanted to get back to New York. So I never got to experience Cape Cod except the Dunkin' Donuts there, the first one you come to. That's my Cape Cod story. I would have loved to spend more time. Jody Smith. Let me put on different glosses. I've got more than Fred Sanford, Put on the $1.25 readers. It's a little better. As I'm hurting my eyes. Jack, LOL. I know what you're LOLing. My dirty mind. Stand for laugh out loud. I know that. I'm not that senile. Texting word, LOL. I know that. I thought you were saying LOL to my little joke that mentioned you, Auntie Rue. So hi, Jody. Always love that name, Jody. Can be a male name. I've known somebody, a guy named Jody, went to summer camp with him. And I know Jodies, including the love, one of my movie loves, Miss Jodie Foster, of course. Of course. Oh, she was so beautiful in Silence of the Lambs. She was. I could not get into her new cop American Detective thing, though, on Prime Video. Just couldn't get into it. First time I ever did not watch something Jodie was in. Normally, when her name is in it, I'm going to watch, just like if it's Anthony Hopkins or any number of other people. Yeah. Okay, I heard you ask me what the heart is in the way again. Could you move that heart's wild? Somebody comment. How do I get that heart out of the way? It's the wrong place to put the heart. So I can't see the rest of your sentence. Thank you. Thank you, Chantel. She helped me. My first beer at 23 years old, huh? How you so you're not anywhere near that now, or you are? I don't know. You're not saying you just had your first beer, right? Because if we have a 23-year-old, you may be the youngest. That dang Duncan, Ted Richards said. Well, I don't do it much anymore, but I love the old fashioned plain donut. I love a crispy plain donut, and they're hard to find. And but we have a place called Daddy's Donuts here. I never go to it because they close too early. They're 1, 2 o'clock. They're closing up. Keep touching the mic with my lips. Um, Daddy's Donuts. Oh, they are a limited chain. I can just tell you they're a cut above. But I have enjoyed Dunkin' Donuts. I have. I saw all those movies at the theater with her. With her? With who? Who did you see it with? Okay, I heard you ask me what that was before. So now I've got to remember what was before. And all I know is that Jody Smith is eating a pastrami sandwich, French fries, a Coca Cola, not a Coke Zero or a Coke sugar free. I find that the Pepsi Zero is far superior than the Diet Pepsi, by the way. Just trust me on this. And a slice of key lime. Well, that'll balance out the French fries there, Jody. Are you a male or a female, Jody? I don't know. We used to have some, Cat's Deli in New York City before it became a war zone that I'm not going to go to anymore until they get responsible government. That was the place to get a pastrami sandwich and the stage delicatessen as well. I don't like beer, says Heart Wild. I don't drink beer either. I'm more of a popaholic, like Coca Cola. Yeah, well, I love my Pepsi Zero and um, Coke. I'm one of these few people that when they came out with, and I got to go see John Scott in a little bit with Fox News. See what John has to tell me. This guy only works weekends on Fox and he never fills in any other time. I just want to do the weekends. I know I look like the definitive anchor man. I don't want to co-anchor, of course, just me. And they said, well, all right, John, we'll go for that. Just weekends. We'll never call you on a Tuesday. All right. You happy now? We'll find someone else. We got other people. So, yeah. Um, I try to drink less soda and a lot more water, because I'm 68 years old, cardiomyopathy, but everything's good except, I made the mistake of puffing on a Dutch Master cigar out there in the fenced in gazebo, and it seemed to trigger coughing that wouldn't stop that led to, the congestion, phlegm, and like a mild case of bronchitis. And I said, well, I guess I can't. My theory that I can have one cigar a weekend, just one cigar, if it's warm out there, went out the window. I went out the window. I like both Pepsi and Coke. Not no diet, just high kind. So I forget how old you are, Hartswild. I don't expect you to tell me, but that's lethal for people that are pre-diabetic, and of course, if you are diabetic. And Hartswild is saying hello to everyone. I've never smoked cigarettes except to be an experiment and be cool. When I was a kid, I tried them a few times, but I've never been a cigarette person. I can see you can't see with the heart in the way, right? If that heart is, that's what I meant. Okay, I understand now. Um, can you take an extra deep breath without coughing, Jack? Yes. Yes, I can. I don't think I think I'm pretty good. I was that close to urgent care this morning though, and Karen always says, "Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it." But I want to be sure I really need to. Hi, Judy. Judy in disguise with glasses. That's the lyric, right? Judy in disguise with glasses. I'm late to this party. You're late to the dance, but I think there will be a gentleman. Oh, somebody's texting me. Just wanted to say hello. God bless you and protect all. Well, thank you, Judy Bosch. That close? Yeah, it is a great old song, Ted Richards. We know all those. Let's sing some of them right now, Ted. I'll start because I can't hear you, and you just join in. Let's see. Every time I see your face, I love you. I could hear people singing 1, 2, 3, red light. um, in my most secure moments, I still can't believe I'm spending those moments with you. Well, actually, I picked an obscure association song, but when you're done watching me, listen to that song on your music service, Everything That Touches You. To me, it is one of the most, it really captures the essence of being in love and that feeling where I can't believe who's standing next to me, you know? But I could have sung Cherish, and that would have been. I can't do Along Comes Mary unless I got a lyric sheet in front of me. I mean, Along Comes Mary. That part, the chorus is easy, but when you get into the verses, you really have to know your song because the lyrics come fast and furious, and they are not your typical pop lyrics. Chantel, what's your favorite song? I remember in '73 eating at Howard Johnson's. Me too. I thought I saw you there. Oh, in Plattsburgh? Don't know if I've been to Plattsburgh near the beach and the Chicken Dixie and the Orange Julius. Are you trying to say? Orange Julius? We had that in our Orange Plaza Mall. Orange Julius. Orange. Wouldn't call it a shake, right? What would you call it? It's kind of like almost like a smoothie. They didn't use that word back then. It's like you took water and you took some milk and then you took about 8 or 10 St. Joseph's orange aspirin and crushed them all together, put them in there and whipped them around in the blender and crushed them all together, put them in there and whipped them around in the blender. And that was an orange Julius. Oh my goodness. The strangest taste I remember. You're a grand old flag, and I can't remember the next line. Da 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 da. Love it. Cheryl Everhart even found us. I tried to hide from you, Cheryl, because I know I owe you money. Sorry I'm late. No, well, that's okay. This is just a precursor, a pop on to pop off for tonight's live show at 10:30. Let's see who's texting me here. Could be nothing. Like first message is from Trump. Yeah. Let's see. What's the president? Trump attacks continual global threats, growing analysis issues, recession warning, retirements may be impacted. This is from Newsmax, really, folks. So they passed the Ukraine bill, $66 billion. We'll talk about that a little tonight. $66 billion to a bombed out shell, excluding Kyiv, because Putin doesn't want to risk having anything flow into Poland. So he's not bombing Kiev, as they called it when I was a kid, for many years. Then it became Kyiv. 66 billion, only 26 billion for Israel. That will. That will really tick off the Palestinian demonstrators. Many of them, of course, aren't even Palestinian. They just want to protest. I know what that was like when I was a kid, but we weren't Jew haters. What the heck has happened here? Innocent Jewish students going to Columbia University. It's going to end up destroying the university because all the Jewish parents are going to want their money back. They're going to sue for it, and the others are going to be thrown out. So they're destroying universities right now. And so, what does DA Bragg do? The cops come with 4 buses, and they, at the request of the president of the college, and gets them all out of there. Gets them all out of there. They have to back up because they're blocking them in the front, and they don't want World War III, so they have to back the buses out. I'm surprised everybody wasn't ready to stand in back of the buses. But anyway, don't want to give them ideas. Um, that evening, they're all lined up by the where they bring them. I guess it's the county, the city jail, for them to get out, and they have a big celebration out there as they get out. Thank you, D.A. Bragg. Thank you, D.A. Bragg, for destroying New York City, for destroying it, destroying it. You and Hochul have destroyed the city of New York. Congratulations. Congratulations. While you're trying to nail Donald Trump for a misdemeanor bookkeeping error. Oi, this is where it gets hard to pray for your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. It's hard. It's hard when they're, you know, they're Satan's demons. Satan's demons, especially Bragg. Ah, I just want to talk about that. It's stupid and sad. Which one? There's so many stupid and sad things. Oh, you don't want to talk about. Well, we got to talk about it because they want us not to talk about it. I'm all for lighthearted chatter on our worldwide ramblings at 10:30, but that's sometimes all it is. And I understand everybody wants their Bob Joyce update. I accept it. It got me an audience. I spent years not having enough subscribers to go live because back then, I think it's still this way. You have to have 1,000 subscribers to go live. I didn't have anywhere near that. I started talking about Bob Joyce, and before you know it, YouTube is mentioning me. Well, you're over 1,000. Congratulations. Now you can go live, and you can start to monetize your videos. Bob Joyce been very, very good to me, and I love him. And I love him very much. Hi, Michael G. Mikhail. See you tonight. Yes, we're just popping on to pop off, Mikhail, but it always goes longer. I'm going to head and watch the 6 o'clock news in just a second, and it'll be time for dinner. I think Karen is making sweet and sour chicken kind of thing, not the stuff with the breaded, but it's in the crock pot, and it's got various red peppers and of course pineapple and stuff like that, and she's gonna have it with rice, and so that's good. And Andy won't touch any of that. He doesn't eat that, so he'll eat something different. Yes, so Shell says she'll see us tonight. Okay, Shell, take a little nap first. Have yourself a hot toddy and take a little nap, and say a little prayer for Donald Trump. We have to have this win in November. It's America's last chance. It's America's last chance. Although when I say that, I know God is in control, and he'll decide when our last chance is. I'm certainly hope that you're subscribed to my channel, Hearts Wild. I consider you a fan, and I'm a fan of yours. So, what do you think of the guy that set himself on fire? I'm very sad for him. I'm very sad for him. He probably had mental illness. That's what we have to deal with in America, not take the guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. We have to deal with mental illness. But I know a lot about this, not only because I am certifiably crazy, but no, I digress. I'm just kidding. Well, my mother had mental illness. I know mental illness is in my family. I have anxiety. There are family members that would say I have more than anxiety. Might as well just be honest. But somewhere along the line, and a guy told me it was women that did this. I'm just going to be honest. A mental health professional said it was really women, liberal women, that did this. They decided to tell the mentally ill people that they could choose for themselves whether they wanted treatment or not, whether they were going to take their medications and whether they were going to do this and whether they were going to do that. When they did that, and when they started closing down the institutions, except for people that are severely, can't say mentally retarded anymore, right? So handicapped or challenged, whatever feels good to you. When they did that, we lost our ability to deal with mental illness like we used to do before. It used to be, if you're going to behave a certain way, we're going to put you in this place. Now, sometimes they were mistreated in there, and that's no good. That's no good. You don't mistreat someone like that. Oh, nobody's around, so let me give you a little. No, you don't do that. But I'm saying they had rules. I know when my mom had to go into it's right up the road here, up the hill. My mother had schizophrenic tendencies, and when she had to go in there because she stopped taking her medication that worked just fine, she had to go in there for a few weeks, and within less than a week and a half, she was my mom again. You'd never know there was anything wrong with her. But I saw what would happen there is there was a store that they all wanted to go to. Walk out to the store, get yourself something nice. You had to earn that privilege. You wanted a day pass to go out of the grounds. You're high functional and everything like that. Uh, um, you have to earn that. We took all that away. And then we started buying these expensive, beautiful homes in the community that would only have room for like 8 to 10 people, spend a fortune on that. But they do as they damn well please, especially I'm talking about the ones that are really high functional. The others you can bully you can bully them to follow the rules. But the high functional people will say, take your meds and shove them where the moon don't shine. And there's nothing you can do about it. And so all this stuff happens where people that should be put away for a while and regulated don't get regulated. And the next thing you know, they're doing something horrible to society. Neo, it's true and you know it. Yes, please pray for Trump. We really need this. We really need this. My first choice, as you know, was Ron DeSantis, and someone who had mentioned him being the presidential pick. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. But I like Tulsi Gabbard, and I understand that you want to have you want to have someone from a state that Trump could lose, like Virginia. So that would be Glenn Youngkin. But yeah, I would say that what's his name? Whose name I've forgotten again? JD Vance seems to be the leading candidate right now. So we'll see. You know what? Having said all that, I think Trump on the streets of Harlem. I guess he can't do a rally. I don't understand why on the weekends he can't go do a rally. You know, um, if he has to do it on the streets of Harlem, which is a wonderful, they love him in Harlem. They love him. Biden goes into these restaurants and stuff, and they don't like him. Biden says, "I never thought I'd see a time where, as the president of the United States is driving by, a 7-year-old boy is flipping the bird, and all these signs." F you Biden and stuff like that. I don't like it either. But what you've done to the presidency, sir, is absolutely disgraceful. Disgraceful. And there's only like 50 things we could point to. Ted, what's it all about, Alfie? I didn't He made it sound like he couldn't do one, Ted. Where is it? It'll be on Newsmax. Where's his rally tonight? Are you sure? I'm really delighted if that's true, because that was so unfair to me that he couldn't do a rally on the weekends. He's really got to push because Biden's out there. I mean, Biden doesn't really know where he is. Is this Pennsylvania? Oh, I got to tell my cannibal story again. How my great uncle or whatever was eaten by cannibals. Mr. President, please don't tell that story because even the Pope said it's bullshit. Okay? Please don't lie like that. It didn't happen, Mr. President. His plane went down in the water. How did this happen? It happened by more than half of our population being, shall we say, not informed. Not informed. That's how it happened. Harlem. Yes. But I'm interested about that rally. I didn't think that was true. Now I have to check out Newsmax 2. I don't have Newsmax 1 because all of I like on there really is Rob Schmidt, and I miss him. And they've lost a lot of viewers by being a pay service now. I feel bad for them because they were climbing, But Fox has better talent, and that's just the way it is. And what's his name said that? Bill O'Reilly said that to Tucker Carlson. Oh, Fox will always win. They have better talent. They do. They do. But I enjoy seeing Dick. What's his name there? Dick Morris and um, the man who has the radio network, Prager, Dennis Prager, and people like that. I enjoy that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's really hard, Hearts Wild, especially if the influence peddling charge is correct. If the influence peddling that the people like Jim Jordan have uncovered and they believe it's true, that would mean he violated his oath as president of the United States. If that's true, if he did peddle from the time he was a senator to the time into the presidency, you know what that makes him. I don't have to say the word. And Shelley thinks it's funny. What kind of Trump follower are you, Shell? I don't know. I'm just picking up the questions. I think Taylor has sold her soul. Do you mean Taylor Swift? Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Trump said to her, knock it off. He said to them, knock it off. And the fact that she didn't knock it off, we'll talk about that tonight because that's a little more complicated. We'll talk about what happened tonight with Mike Johnson, who's a fine man, and we'll talk about his reasoning for lining up the way he did. Lining up the way he did. Um, it kind of gave him protection because there's now at least 5 Democrats that would not vote to vacate the speaker. In other words, they could override the Republicans that would try. This is not the time for that. This is not the time to be trying to vacate the speaker. Our arse is on the line here. We have to win in November. United we stand. Somebody sing it with me. United we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs are ever gonna be against the wall, we'll be together. Together, you and I, the Brotherhood of Man, their one and only hit. I know Jimmy maybe doesn't remember that song. Um, Wilmington, North Carolina, Ted? Yeah? How did I miss this? Why is he saying during the week then that, it wasn't just him, but the anchors were inferring that he can't do anything until this trial is over. Well, I'm a little bit less paranoid about the state of America hearing that, because how could a judge say that you can't have a rally on the weekend while you've got Michael Cohen and Stormy? You know, I like Stormy. It sounds terrible to say that. Um, she got her money. They worked out a deal to keep her mouth shut. And this is all about a bookkeeping error. Yeah, she says bad things about Trump because he said bad things about her. It's a tit for tat thing. I don't look at Stormy Daniels as a horrible person. Um, we're all sinners, and um, Michael Cohen, kind of the same thing in a sense, but yeah, I can totally understand that Michael Cohen thought of his wife and his children and said, I'm not going to go to jail for 20 years for Donald Trump. I've got kids to raise. I've got a wife to get back to. I understand. I understand that. But he embellished it too much. He embellished it too much. I'm about to give up the beginning of John Scott for you people. I hope you're happy because I always like to see my John Scott. He's like the Mr. Anchorman if there ever was, just like Brett Baer is. And of course, all the rest on ABC, CBS, and NBC have sold their soul to the devil, right along with, the MSNBC, Pepperidge Farm Moranos, and many of the CNN anchors, if not all. I still like that Michael Holmes. He broadcasts from Atlanta. He's from Australia. He keeps getting these funny hair pieces now. I can't quite understand it. They don't look natural, Michael. They don't look natural. Get the William Shatner kind, you know? I know that's why you got the hairpiece because you thought your hair was too thin. I get it. Why am I talking about Michael Holmes' hair? Why am I doing that, Craig Oliver? Slur Trump's name. I don't slur Trump's name. If you do, well, this is the United States of America, and you can be for the worst president that we've ever had in the history of this country if you want to be, or you can be for Bobby Kennedy. Mister Vaccinations are a great thing. I had 3 vaccinations because I saw it as rolling the dice. I saw people going into the hospital, into intensive care, being put on a ventilator, and never getting off of it until they were dead. So I said, well, we really don't know how safe this is going to be and whatever. I'm going to roll the dice. The cardiomyopathy that I got after that, I think I was prone to have because my father had it. It's an hereditary type thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Dems. Isn't it something though when he goes out into the street, how they love him, how they love President Trump. He's not the man he was in 2016. He's much more knowledgeable about the way the country works. He proved that after a little bit of a rough start in the beginning, he could approach it as a businessman. We had no wars. We had $1.80 gas. We weren't trying to say everybody must have an electric car, which will lead to a total catastrophe. Um, Electric 18 wheelers, right? They go 200 miles and you got to charge them. These guys are going thousands of miles. Oh my God, the charging stations backed up from here to the grid going down because everybody's wanting to charge their vehicles. And you get that stupid punk Buttigieg. Oh, it's like I feel like I'm talking to people that still want us to have landline phones. No, you idiot. No, you idiot. It's not that at all. It's there's going to be a plethora of problems of what you say. Fossil fuel is used in the production. These electric batteries are setting people's houses on fire when they park them in the garage. On and on. The electric scooters, same thing. Oh man, there's like a million problems. And at the top of the list is we don't have enough electrical power to do this. We don't have electric power without them. And you don't want to drill, baby, drill. So you guys are wrong about just about everything. And in 3 years, the worst president of the United States ever has done so much to destroy America. And people that I would never think would be this anti-American, older people especially, that would get on board with their agenda, including people like Jake Tapper and Wolf Blitzer. What are you talking about, Wolf? Do you see? I saw you standing at the grave of your Jewish ancestors who were killed in Auschwitz, and yet you stand there and you allow people to think that you are pro uh, they are pro this hate for Jews. These people have nothing to do with what's going on in Gaza. You know, they have nothing to do with it. And although we can stop funding, Netanyahu's going to do what he wants. He's not going to be bullied by an old man that probably wears a diaper. Give me a break. Tim, where have you been all my life? Tim Afterbum. Now you were a bum, but you're no longer one. It's not an easy first lane. Tim Bothruster? Afterbum? Well, you came up with an original name. You've got to write a book now. You've got to write your book. They say everybody has one good book in them. Jody Smith, if Trump does come back, a lot of the naysayers will be saying, oh, the country was better now that Trump is president. Absolutely. Absolutely. He really learned the job. Illuminati snake people. Well, I guess we will. Are you a troll, Jay? Or are you talking about the people that are the progressives? Ah, yes. Yeah. Okay. I've got to figure it. Still got to figure it out. How did you know, Tim, with a bacon and mayonnaise sandwich for dessert? Bacon and mayonnaise. Is that? I know you think that's what Elvis liked, right? I know he liked his bacon. I don't know about the mayonnaise part. I know he had mashed potatoes with crispy bacon inside of it for breakfast sometimes. Those later years. Elvis video coming up on shorts, the short video on YouTube. I got to catch the first part of that conversation. 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 Yeah, can you imagine that, Hearts Wild? The line will be around the block to charge your car. The grid will be going down in the summertime. How much is it going to be to charge your car? Oh, you want to go, you want to go 1,200 miles away? Well, they don't want you doing that, the government. So just as well you can't. Oh, there you are. You've got a quarter charge left, but you can see that there's a charging station, a big one coming up, only 15 miles away. Oh my goodness. Somebody was careless on the road. You are now in the biggest traffic jam of your life. And there you are on Route 95, and you run out of juice. Oh, that darn Joe Biden. He'll be long dead by then. But, geez, so crazy, so crazy. God has got the planet in control, um, and he allows human behavior, and we are destroying ourselves. Joe Biden and all the other, John Kerry and all that. I guess he's retiring finally. They are just not the saviors they think they are. Oh my goodness. Karen's saying, "Where are you? Where are you? It's dinner time. You're missing John Scott, for goodness sakes." No, once again, that's not true. Okay. We need to pray for President Trump's protection. At least he wanted to put America first and don't accept pay for his position. He doesn't need the money. The Dems are getting desperate and may do anything to keep Trump out. They're going to try every trick in the book. You're absolutely right, Craig. Well, hi, Candy Luna. I still believe Elvis has not left the building. Well, then I'm going to go look for him. I think we can agree to disagree. This country has gone crazy without belittling each other. People get all shook up. Oh, you like that last line. I think we have to use strong language when a president may be guilty of influence peddling. I think we have to call it out for what it is. But yeah, we also have to pray for President Biden. Pray for those who persecute you. And there's another scripture that talks about praying for leaders. Doesn't mean that you condone their behavior, but we do have to pray. I can't disagree with you on that. What about you, Mr. Afterbum? Oh, it's Afterburn. See, the R and the N goes together and it makes it look like Afterbum. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you think I was doing that. I'm doing that because I'm straining to see. But it's okay if you like it, Belinda, who's really Margaret, just so you know. Andra, how are you? Randy Mancini, son of Henry Mancini. Okay, see you later, 10:30 Eastern Time. Sounds like a plan, huh? 57 watching, 31 likes. Please hit the like button. Please hit the notification bell. If you haven't subscribed, please do. So I will see you in less than 4.5 hours for worldwide ramblings, including this week's Nincompoop. And we will talk about your Bob Joyce emails as well, and whatever is on your mind, your topics, your questions. Hopefully, we won't have a brawl break out like we did in the stream last week between one of the sons of the Memphis Mafia and Bob 1974. But you never know. You never know. bring a bring a nice beverage for the experience. All right. I appreciate you watching. I really do. God bless you. Bye bye.